For 13 years, my life sounded like this: monitor alarms, ambulance sirens, relatives calling out, phone calls, announcements, footsteps running down the corridors, questions, decisions, rapid decisions, and then more decisions. For 13 years, I lived inside the world where every second seemed important, where every sound meant something, where every moment demanded attention. And then one day, I landed on a small island thousands of miles away from India. And for the first time in a very long time, I heard something I had forgotten that it existed: silence. Hello, all. I am Dr. Vamshidhar Argula, a board certified emergency physician, a story collector, and a professional observer of human chaos. After 13 years spending in emergency medicine, I've traded ambulance sirens for ocean waves. And these are my code blue confessions. India gave me everything: my education, my training, my profession, my resilience, my friends, my identity. Some of the finest doctors I've ever known, one of the most hardworking people I've ever come across in my life, some of the most unforgettable moments of my life. I'll be very grateful for that, and I'll be cherishing those moments for the rest of my life. But gratitude and growth can exist together. And sometimes life asks you a simple question: what happens if you try something different? What happens if you walk a different road? A few weeks ago, I found myself standing on this lovely, amazing beach: white sand, blue green water beach. And now, if you have never seen such beach, it is difficult to explain. The water doesn't look real. It looks edited, as if someone has increased the saturation settings of this planet. The sea stretches endlessly. The breeze is gentle. And suddenly, I noticed something strange. Nobody was in a hurry. Not the people walking, not the people cycling, not the people sitting at cafes, not even traffic. And coming from emergency medicine, that felt almost suspicious. And this part of world is disturbingly pleasant and silent. Back home, my nervous system had been incredibly efficient: alert, ready, scanning, anticipating, prepared for the next emergency, the next patient, the next crisis, the next responsibility. And for years, my body lived in a condition what many physiologists would call as sympathetic overdrive. Which is fight, flight, adrenaline, alert, respond, react, move, go. And then I came to this part of the island where things move at their own slow speed. And this island seemed to whisper something completely different. It taught me to slow down, to breathe, to look around, because you are allowed to. At first, I resisted. I walked fast. Everyone else walked normally. I kept checking for my phone very frequently, every now and then, and nobody seemed to be bothered. I found myself mentally planning 3 days ahead. This island appeared perfectly comfortable, dealing with one thing at a day, one thing at a time. There is no rush, there is no hurry. And then something unexpected happened. My nervous system began adapting to it. The emergency physician inside me did not disappear, but he finally sat down. The best way I could describe this is, imagine holding your fist, clenching your fist for 13 years, not because you have to, uh, because the situations demanded. And then one fine day, you realize you can actually open your fist. And that is what it feels like. That is what this place feels like, a deep exhalation. Not because the life is perfect, but because and not because life is perfect, and not because problems have vanished, but because urgency is no longer the default setting of the system. And perhaps that's the biggest luxury of all. Money, yes, money plays a role. Money is definitely important. Beaches, such lovely and wonderful beaches, they definitely uh, are like a cherry on top. But peace, real peace, the kind that makes you uh, feel so good, the kind of peace that gets under your skin, the kind that arrives quietly, this kind of peace you don't fully appreciate until you have spent years living without it. And sometimes after work, I find myself standing near this beach and watching the sunsets, and I laugh because if someone had described this scene to the younger version of myself, who worked for days and nights together at a stretch for years together, I probably wouldn't have believed them. But then life has its own funny and interesting ways to surprise us. You spend years chasing your goals, and one day you realize you were not only searching for success, but you were also looking for some balance. And maybe that's what this chapter is all about. Not escaping anyone or anything, not running away from anyone or anything. It's just finding yourself, simply experiencing another version of life, another dimension of life. The version where the sea is blue, the roads are calm, the air feels lighter, and your thoughts finally have enough space to finish speaking. And now, don't get me wrong, I definitely miss India. I definitely miss Hyderabad, the food, the energy, that unpredictability, those organized chaos. But because India doesn't just live on a map, it lives inside you. But standing here, looking out at this wonderful beach and this blue green waters, I also know that some chapters were meant to challenge you, some chapters in life were meant to teach you. And then Chapters like these, they are meant to heal you. And for now, this tiny island feels more like healing. Thank you for joining me. I am Dr. Vamshidhar Argula, and this is Code Blue Confessions. Yeah, and before we meet again, remember, life whispers before it screams. Pay attention.